I was just going to say one thing that we haven't really spoken much about on our episodes is market research. And it's top of
Mm,
mind because we just completed market research for one of our
yeah.
clients pretty extensively. And when I was having a conversation and we were talking through all of the research findings with our client the other day, one of the things that was mentioned was that this is usually a rebranding step or an afterthought when you've
Yeah.
realized that you've outpaced the company's rate and speed of growth has outpaced the brand identity and foundation, then people usually take it a step back and they want to do market research and try to figure out where they went
Hmm.
wrong. And part of branding is that initial market research. Where do you fit? Who's your target audience? And all of the elements that we've discussed throughout all of the episodes. But that is one key factor that is so important. And to really understand how to position yourself from the very start is so important. So I just wanted to
Hmm.
name that because that's something we haven't really touched a lot on, but it's a really important piece when we think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
branding.
Because it
Yeah.
allows you to figure out how to define yourself in the
Mm-hmm.
market, right? And I think that piece, that's kind of what I was going to say, was when there is that confusion, when you're starting to outpace, I think a lot of that goes back into you haven't defined yourself well, right? You haven't thought it out of like who who you are, right? And what do you stand for? And I think that's another piece of that.
Yeah, I
Yeah. And I
completely
think
agree.
it's important that that's ongoing, right? This isn't a one-time thing. Market research isn't a one-time thing. Building your brand isn't a one-time thing. Your messaging, your positioning, these are all part of your brand that continue to evolve. Whether you're outpaced or you're slowing down, like they continue to evolve over time and you need to be actively looking at them. That's why metrics are so important. That is why market research, Jasmine, to your point, is so important. You need to be constantly looking at who your customers are, what they're resonating with, because,
Mm-hmm.
we can do all the market research in the world and the messaging and the positioning. And, honestly, sometimes it hits wrong. And then you have to go back and look at what happened. And sometimes it hits right. And you want that information too. What about
Yeah.
this resonated? What about this stuck? Because you have to keep evolving and moving forward. It's a constant evolution of your
And
brand,
also
your
too,
messaging, your research.
I completely agree. And I think that
Agree.
research too is so timely. So if you do the
Hmm.
initial research to launch your business and to create your brand identity and your positioning from that space, understand that trends change. The market changes. And so it is
Yes.
an ongoing branding effort that I think they go hand in hand. They are the same thing. Business effort to make sure that your positioning is still
Yeah.
We're making brand new rules, taking things in a brand new